Vegetables. Little man, the kitty cat, is now keeping my, what do you call that? The inside of your legs? Nice and warm. Been kind of an odd day. Asha's trying to go back to work more hours. So today she went back for half a day. I wasn't there at the regular time in the morning. Let's see, I wake up at 6 and I'm over there by 6:45, waiting for them to come down the stairs. Little man was awake and ready to roll this morning. Sometimes he's not, but today he was. That's why I was sitting and waiting. He comes running over to me. I thought maybe I was going to get a hug. No, he reached out for my phone. There's a word search game he likes. It's like an anagram. It's a word that's all scrambled up and then has a lists of possible words that you can make with these letters. He loves that game. He just likes it because it lights up when you touch the letter and you touch 2 or 3 letters and it makes a little line between the letters. And sometimes they actually go up into the list, and that excites him to no end. So what I've taken up doing, we have a very small amount of time that we play this. I don't want him getting used to this kind of stuff. But there'll be a word that you can make words like lid, L-I-D, lid, or dog, D-A-G. And I will point to the letter and to the next letter and to the next letter, and then when you let your finger up, it forms that letter and it goes up into the list. So I'll go D-A-G as I'm moving my finger around, and then it'll go pring up into the list, and he gets a so he just loves that game. I turn the sound way down because it has some kind of irritating background sound music. But I try to explain to him, and if it's a word that's 4 letters long or longer, poetry, or what are some tire, like on your car, T-I-R-E, and then we go bring, and and I say, a tire is the rubbery part on your wheel of your car. He loves wheels. He turns his toys over and plays with the wheels. Anyway, I watched him till about 12:30, 1 o'clock. By then I was ready to drop, because I didn't know how long it was going to be. I just knew it was part of a day, not a whole day. So he ate breakfast really well. We always have to have music at breakfast. We had bossa nova jazz music. And then at lunch, we always, every lunch has to be Dale Mathis accordion music. He has a channel on YouTube. And we listen to the Oktoberfest set of Dale Mathis playing accordion. Spencer loves it. He has a couple favorites, and he starts doing this number when he hears them. What a kid. And we played cards and we played little toys, and he brought a book to me to read. And Uncle Scott sent 2 books and a pair of pajamas. And the books are written by a Canadian guy up in Ontario. They are the weirdest, weird AF books, I tell you. One of them is about a princess and a prince and a dragon. The princess and the prince are very nice-looking young people. The dragon comes in, takes the prince off, and burns down the castle. It burns everything up that the princess had, all her clothes and everything. All she found was a paper bag to put on. So she puts this paper bag on, and she's off looking to find the prince that she wants to marry. She follows this trail of burnt trees and horse bones. She finally finds where the dragon is, and she tries pulling tricks on the dragon to wear him out. He falls asleep, and she goes in to get the prince. And the prince is like, "Ew, you're ugly. you don't have proper clothes, and and he's just as bad as the dragon. And she leaves. She says, "You're a jerk." Basically, you're a bum. She calls him a bum. You're a jerk, and she leaves, and they don't get married. That's how it ends. It's interesting, but and another one's about a little girl that likes to color and draw, and she bugs her mom for 500 crayons or whatever it is, 500 markers, and her mother says no. And she bugs her and bugs her and bugs her. Her mother buys them. She uses them all up, and she asks her mom again. Her mom says no. She bugs her and bugs her and bugs her, and then she gets them. I'm like, what kind of lesson are we teaching kids on this story? In the very last couple pages, it does end kind of funny. So I switched the story around, and he can look at all the pictures while I switch the story around. I think the writing is really fucking weird. I mean, if a guy can make money with stories that weird, I can make money with stories that aren't weird. So that's what I think I'm going to try to do. I'm still working on the little blue truck. The foam clay has to dry a little bit more before I can paint it up or anything. But I'll do a video showing what the progress is on it and all that. That'll be within the next couple days. In the next couple days, I'm also going to try this beautification masks for my face, feet, and hands. Too little, too late. I've been talking to my high school friend John. I will call him John. He said he should have never broke up with me. And he was telling me different bits and pieces of his life and what's happened to him over the years. And he's still working. But he's the kind of person that doesn't want anyone to know about him or where he is, especially the government. But he joined the service. I don't know if it was honorable or dishonorable discharge or 4F or what. I don't know. I don't really know. He listed some number, some military paper number. Military's good with acronyms and numbers. I don't know. Didn't matter to me. And he was in the military. And when you're in the military, they have your fingerprints, your toe prints, your nose prints, your butt print. They got everything on you. Everything. Probably have samples of your hair and skin and smell. Who knows? If you have a phone of any kind, even a burner phone, one the kind you buy at like a discount store and buy a little calling card thing for, you still are registered. And even if you put a fake name, they can tell FCC or phone towers and stuff can tell you've called and where you called from and who you called. You're not invincible. You can't hide. The preppers want to hide. They want to hide and be all supplied up and weaponed up and all that. What for? Oh, the government's not going to get me. He has a place that he lives. He has a driving license and a car, even if it's an old car. The government wants you. They're going to find you. Luckily, I don't think there's anything the government wants out of you, so you don't have to worry. Me, I'm an open book. I tell everybody everything. And people are like, oh God, TMI, get away. I don't really have anything to worry about. The government has my fingerprints. And the copy machine at the GSA building has my boob prints on it. Yeah, you get bored. I worked for GSA twice. They've got any information on me that they ever want. Ever. They know everything. If the government wants you, they'll get you. So you just have to not worry and do the nicest, best living that you can do without hurting other people. Just be the best you can be. Right? That's how I feel about it, because there's no use wondering and hiding from the government. Hiding things takes so much energy When I was married, my ex was such a jerk. And he did such nasty things. And I couldn't tell anybody. You know how hard that is to not let reality out? To be all clandestine and closed in? It's like you're not only a prisoner from that person, but you're a prisoner in your own self. And that is not cool. Not cool at all. I'm sorry to be a downer. But I've been talking to John and remembering old times, and sometimes I'll get a little weepy and start crying. I would like someone to hug and hold. And when you're just feeling kind of down, just to hold them until you fall asleep. That I'd like. That would be nice. Could I ever be married again? I doubt it. You know, you get older and you get set in your ways. You get used to doing stuff the way you'd like to do it. Listening to music you like when you want to listen to it. When you have other people around you, you have to be considerate of them as well. You can't do everything you want all the time. But, you know, if you're open and honest with each other and tolerant of each other, that's a biggie. Respect and tolerance. That's something our country seems to have lost. And that's a shame. A big shame. Yeah, I know people that I don't agree with their politics, or I don't agree with how they feel about certain people or whatever. But they have a right to feel that way. You know? I don't care for country music at all. I can't stand it. It makes me sick. But if they like it, they're more than welcome to love it. But they have to respect the feelings that I had towards certain music as well. You know, I let them do their thing, they let me do my thing, and then the world is fine. That's the way the world's always been in my eyes, but society is all of a sudden pointing fingers at each other, saying, "You're wrong! You are wrong, you're evil, you're horrible, you don't deserve to live." It's like, what happened? I mean, I know there's always been people like that. But they can go back home to their people and say, "I'm glad you're here. Well, I couldn't take that family over there, or their music, or their food, or whatever, you know. But I'm glad I'm here." Now people, it's like they don't like other people, they don't even like themselves. And I got caught up into watching a lot of the doomsday stuff on YouTube and really depressed and cried a lot and scared. Oh, it makes you scared. I can understand how the major plebeian people in society fall for these guys that run for office and all that tell them, "This is happening, the sky is falling." Remember Chicken Little, the sky is falling? When an acorn fell on his head, he was running around thinking the sky was falling. And he was telling everyone. That's sort of kind of how our society has become like Chicken Little. And I don't like it. I try to be tolerant. I try to be kind. I try to communicate well. Hopefully I do. Kitty Cat's sleeping. He's not going to like it when I get up to put this up online and try to go to bed. I say try because I have a million things going through my brain. I usually do. Been kind of weepy lately. Almost regretting. I try not to regret. I try to learn from what I did not do or things that I did that didn't turn out. I try to learn from that. But thinking back to the past and just kind of makes you cry. And if you're like under 30, eventually, if you live long enough, you'll feel the same way. You'll not understand why people don't like Cardi B. Like your children will go, "Oh God, that again." You know, it'll happen. It always does. It happens generation to generation to generation. Been writing down a bunch of ideas for stand-up comedy for open mic night, if they have another one, and all that. I think I'm going to try, again, just to get it off my chest, to see if I can make people laugh. Because I like making people laugh. I've been thinking about that on this channel as well. I'm working on a little blue truck. It's trying to dry. The foam clay is not hard. I thought it was supposed to dry hard. I don't know. I'm still working on it. I'm going to film some of the working on it because I love working with this foam. This foam clay, air dry foam clay. I love it. Sponsor me and I'll build all kinds of stuff. I love working with this stuff. It's like marshmallows that you can work with that aren't sticking to your fingers. I love it. So if you ever get a wild hair up your ass to do something, it costs, what is it? $4.99, which is $5. I got it at Hobby Lobby, I think is where I got it. One of the hobby stores. Air dry foam clay. Sandable and paintable. I squint because my vision's going. My ears are messed up, my vision's going. My doctor appointment's April 4th, and boy oh boy, I can't wait. Well, who would ever say that, right? I don't know, I hope it goes well. All of a sudden I'm owing so much money to everybody and everything. Speaking of that, so many people have, even people I've been watching that were smaller channels than me, all of a sudden are doing commercials and promoting themselves and wanting more and more people on their channel. That's not my goal. It's not my aim. If I can make a few people chuckle or inform people on something, that's what I do. I don't kiss ass. I don't have merch for sale. I could, but I don't. Because I'm too lazy. I'd have to get my ass together. So many people are selling weird drink or programs or this or that or VPNs or what, you know. I don't do that. I don't ask people for anything. I did have a what was it? A pay something account for when I moved out here, and thank you very much for the people that contributed. That was enabled me to move out here. Otherwise, I would have walked, would have had to, or driven as far as I could, or something. I don't know. But I don't ask for anything. I ask you be kind and love one another and be tolerant. Be patient. Try to learn from mistakes so you can go upward and onward.